Candace here. I'm sitting down with Mayor candidate Paul Cheng, and we're going to talk about some upcoming stuff for the election. How are you today?
Thanks for having me here, Candace.
Yeah, actually, it was kind of interesting. Do you remember how I met you?
Yes, go ahead, you tell it.
Yeah, well, he was campaigning in the neighborhood in Lambeth and handing out flyers, and I cornered him and started asking about Airbnb and short-term accommodations. And then after that, I was super excited to sit down and chat with you about it.
I am pro-business. I want London to thrive and into the 21st century. Airbnb is the up-and-coming business. No question about that.
For sure.
I would prefer we leave private business, let you folks do the job, because you're the ones that do the hiring and the maintenance and the investments.
And have you stayed at an Airbnb before?
Yes, many, many times. Europe, Toronto.
Where did you go in Europe?
Let me see. South of London, England, quite a few places. And it's a different setup. The accommodations are a lot smaller.
Yeah.
But they're much more condensed.
For sure.
And so you get used to it, and it's a different lifestyle. The yards are smaller, the homes and accommodations. We're used to a backyard, we're used to a space. In European living space,
exactly.
is different. But they get used to it. Yeah.
For sure. And obviously Airbnb and short-term accommodations have made their way to London, Ontario. And there's obviously rental licenses that are required for general rental properties.
Yes.
And now they're talking about regulating short-term accommodations.
Right.
So before we started recording, we kind of had a conversation about Airbnb and the proposed council, and we talked about the timeline.
Right.
Right now, they said they need 1 year. There's a council put together, and we don't really know what's going on with them, but they have 1 year to tell us what they're going to do about Airbnb regulations.
My position as a business person, as a candidate, and as mayor is I want it to be an efficient, transparent process. When you make an application to council, you should be able to know this is where it's at, here's a holdup, here's a concern, and this is what we need to do to address it. Vote and move on. So that as a business person, you're not waiting 1 full year saying, I don't know where it's at, and what's the stage, and what's the concern.
For sure. I mean, a lot of people say it's a gray area, but some of it's not a gray area right now.
Then fix it, then address it. If it's gray, make it black or white, or discuss it. So that we know both sides can come to a solution. But just to say, well, we don't know what it's all about, that's not acceptable.
Yeah, and we already did the survey. Well, not we. The City of London already did a survey, which is what I have in my hand right now, which I was talking about with Paul beforehand. We kind of already have an idea of what Londoners want in regards to short-term accommodations. Why is it going to take them a year to make this decision? And the other thing that I want to be able to attend these meetings. I've been talking to these counselors directly.
Right.
Why can't I go when I'm one of the business people that has a vested interest in what type of regulations they put down?
It is the application process. As I said on my platform, I want this to be transparent, equal, and efficient. Not just the B&B, there's others, developers, planners, private business people that wants to apply for business license, and some has waited 8 months not knowing where they are. And yet they're paying rent, paying renovations, going ahead and not knowing. That's the part that hurts us as a city's reputation. I want our reputation to be exceedingly exceptional. London, they get things done. Just to say we don't know, we drag our application process out, no,
No,
can't do
a
that.
lot of people complain.
I know that.
For
I hear
sure.
that. I understand that.
I hear it on the
Candace.
ground because it's not just Airbnb that I deal with. I deal with a lot of landlords as a real estate agent.
Okay.
I deal with a lot of small business owners or people that don't own like 13 rental properties. They're just people in their 30s that have 1 or 2 and they're just trying to make some extra money. And here we are, and I'm constantly hearing complaints about the over-regulation, and it makes it difficult for landlords.
Well, to be fair, we must make sure rental accommodations are clean, safe, and meeting a certain standards. That, I think, is only fair across the board.
A lot of people do bring that up, but are you aware of couchsurfing.com?
No, I'm not.
Okay, couchsurfing.com has been around way longer than Airbnb, and no one on city council had any questions about regulating that. And my argument is because they can't make any money, couchsurfing is free. People can go and stay on whoever's couches, in their spare bedrooms, whatever they like. So my argument is that why wasn't couchsurfing regulated, and why is the focus on Airbnb? And I think because it's a tax grab.
Okay.
So Any thoughts on that?
We want individuals and businesses to make money first. They have to survive, meet their basic costs. But there are two sides of this. The people that have built the hotels made the capital investments, the capital structure, so they have to meet their capital costs. So then the Airbnb, there has to be some fairness in it. So then I don't think we should get into the specifics because that is in front of the committee right now.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping that it's going to be more transparent so that when we move forward, we can talk about it because, again, I think that hotels have plenty of business as it is. But I know that they've just implemented the new hotel tax for 4%, and that's part of what's in front of the committee.
Right.
So, as discussed, we're hoping that we can open up that process so that we can actually find out what they're discussing in there.
Right. That is a fair request. Open it up, let the people know what is being discussed and what are the concerns.
Yeah.
And vote on it. And vote on it.
Yeah. All right. So, I guess, do you have any other comments or about short-term accommodations or the regulation process?
Going back to what we were talking about, it is the process that has to be transparent, open, and we know where it's at in each particular process. I want this to be an electronic process. Other cities are doing it. They can do it. Why can't we? We're still a manually entered, a manually drawn out process. Make electronics, document it so you know what you're talking about and where the holdups are.
Yeah, so you can't apply for anything online right now? I wasn't aware of that.
They're starting, but very slow. Compared to other cities, we're not ahead of the curve.
Oh, okay.
So we must be, I want London to be known as a city that exceeds expectations.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's the bottom line.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And I did see on your platform you were talking about the Richmond Street train getting dealt with eventually.
Yes.
That has nothing to do with Airbnb, but I do really like that.
We have to fix that.
I hate that train being there. People, die at that spot, not to mention the traffic and a whole bunch of things that go on in that area that are bad for the downtown. So I do like that you want to address that as part of your platform.
One at a time. Let me fix one road at a time, not all together.
Can I ask a random question?
Please.
What's your first thing you want to do if you get elected? Because you're kind of a back runner. Like, you were running last year, and then this year you've picked up so much more steam. And I was really excited to sit down with you because I know that it's just this momentum that's going right now.
Yeah.
So what's your first thing you're going to do if you are elected mayor?
As I said, I want transparency and I want the Adelaide underpass done. And my first meeting with the city manager is, let's fix the potholes.
There are so many potholes. Sometimes people fix them themselves. Is
that
crazy?
so hard? Like, before the ground freezes, let's get it done. Fix something. At least the biggest ones, we can fix that. At least you don't drive over it. Kalunk, kalunk.
Yeah, so do you want to give me some of the highlights of your platform?
I believe in simplicity. Like, simple, the KISS principle. Get what you need to do it well, but get it done. We have so many sophisticated long-term master plans, but nothing gets done.
For sure.
And so I say, get one thing done at a time. The first thing I want done is the Adelaide Bridge, to make sure that is the Adelaide underpass. Get it fixed. And then the second is to have effective planning.
Yeah, are you talking about for buildings and for, obviously I'm in the housing market and people are talking about the red tape to get through for building new homes, putting homes that are affordable on the market, people complain about rent increases, that sort of thing.
The application process is one of the biggest hiccups in our city.
I would agree.
We've had applications in a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, and people not knowing. So I want this to be transparent, documented electronically. So then at every stage, you know where you are. If we don't know something, let's fix it. Just like the Gateway Casino.
Yeah.
Why did they have to wait so long? And then the casino owner says, we're so mad, we're waiting so long, we're moving. And then now we're coming back and says, well, wait a minute, let's fix it. Before we even get there, somebody, before they get mad, they need a date, fix it. Get them to say, you got to wait 3 months, this is what we have to do. Industry can accept that, but not knowing, that's the crime. So, and also effective planning. Just because you got planning doesn't mean it's good. Like the Hamilton, not too far from here, Hamilton, Trafalgar, there's a 5-finger crossing, right?
Yep.
And now they're digging that up to replace the sewer, the water, and the utilities.
Yeah, they could do a roundabout.
Exactly at the same time. What is so difficult?
I didn't know they were digging that up. I know, it should be at the same time.
You bet. This is tax money that could be used effectively. It's going to have a little bit more upfront cost, but as a taxpayer, I say we're willing to pay for it now so we don't have to dig it up twice.
Did you know that the 402 was supposed to go kind of along where Sunningdale was in the 70s, I believe?
Long time ago.
And they just said we were never going to grow big enough, so the highways meet at the one end of the city at the west end,
Right.
rather than having two highways on the outside.
Right. I want the ring road is a necessity, but that's
Yeah.
another election future. That's way out in the future plan because that's going to involve the provincial, federal, and our city.
Yeah.
Because our city is going to grow right to the limits.
And another thing that I just thought of is the high-speed train to Toronto.
Okay.
That's something that people are rumored about. They talk about all the time.
Yeah.
When is this happening? Like, do you have an opinion on that?
I want the high-speed rail between Windsor, London, Toronto, Ottawa, Montreal. It's a given.
Yeah, because it raises property values and it gives actually people the option to go into work in Toronto if there is that high-speed train, which right now they can't because they'd be commuting 2 hours plus.
Well, the reasoning I want the high-speed rail is so that it opens up the Toronto market to our people here. And it opens up Toronto people to live here.
For more business opportunities, you mean?
Yes,
Oh.
yes. Housing value, I hope will stabilize somewhere because I do want affordable housing for a lot more people.
That's a tricky topic too. How
It
do
is.
you do it without...
We have to open up a lot of the land and make the application process more efficient and
That
more
is one
effective.
way to do it for sure.
Because the development charges right now are just killing the developers. And then who gets to pay for it? Us, the buyers.
Yeah, for sure.
So, but that's another topic, Candace.
Do you play any sports?
I'm really bad at golf. You can throw the ball further than I can hit
Me
it.
too.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I do quite a bit of walking, and that's about it.
Do you wear a Fitbit when you walk?
No, too cheap.
No? Do you-
Still say $80 watch for I don't know how many years. I replaced the batteries and that's it.
That's funny. So you don't track how much activity you're doing or anything like that?
No. In the garden, we pull weeds what we have to.
Yeah.
And in the spring, I forget what we planted in the fall, and so we just kind
It's a
of
surprise.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then you
yeah.
can make a stew with it, I guess, because anything can go in stew.
whatever comes up, we're happy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So do you have any other hobbies besides walking
Not
and golf, I guess?
I spend a lot of time with my wife in the mornings, as mentioned. She makes the coffee, and that's our routine.
Yeah.
And then I can hear it brrr,
Yeah.
and that's for me to wake up. And then she'll say, coffee's ready, and then the two of us will sit down. We'll either sit in the backyard to watch the birds,
Yeah.
or sit in the front, and when it's a nice quiet day. And I don't do anything except to listen.
You know what? I'm trying to do that right now, but I live on Campbell Street, and the construction
Yeah.
has caused all the traffic to go through my house. I can't wait for that construction to get done in Lambeth.
Hopefully soon.
I hope so.
Yeah.
It's crazy. People come speeding down, even though there's temporary speed bumps there.
I know,
It's so
I know.
crazy.
But our
we
city's
have
growing.
birds there too. It's really nice in the backyard.
Yeah. But our city is growing, Candace, no matter what.
I know. It's
Yeah.
crazy how fast it's growing.
Yep.
And everyone always thinks it's student-based, and I understand that there's 36 Western students, 36,000 Western students. There's thousands of Fanshawe students, and they
Yeah.
flood in.
Yeah.
That definitely changes the economy, but there's other ways we could have different businesses
Well,
that promote London.
Yeah, but our infrastructure has not grown with the population growth. So traffic jam and congestion is just going to get worse.
Oh my God, and I don't want it to get worse.
Right. So we have to tackle those issues. Get
For
the
sure.
railroad crossings fixed. You know, that's the biggest drag coming down Richmond Street, down the hill. You go, gee whiz, did I see the lights? I hope I don't have, see the railroad lights.
Sometimes I drive all the way around to take Colonel Talbot just to stay off Wonderland Road
know.
because the traffic is
I
so
know.
horrible.
I know,
It
I
shouldn't
know.
take me 40 minutes to go show a house in North London.
no,
One way. That's crazy.
One of the other issues we must address are the bus bays, right?
Yeah. The BRT is a whole other ball of wax.
It's a whole different thing. Somebody's making big money, and I don't know who it is.
I don't know who it is either,
Yeah.
but I know, no city ever got amazing because they had a brand new bus system.
Right,
You never see anyone at the forefront of technology or some amazing city because they expanded the bus system. Like the
Right.
whole thing to me is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like
So
there's definitely other ways to do it. I don't have a lot of knowledge on that whole situation, but I know that buses are not at the forefront of what we could be doing to make the traffic better for our city.
you have a lot of knowledge. What you have is common sense. And you say, wait a minute, some of this doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And that's what most of us as citizens see is this thing, you can't do this without addressing this first.
Yeah, for sure.
And they're trying to tell us, well, if you ignore this part first, see how beautiful it becomes. Well, you still got to get past that first block.
Exactly.
So, Anyways.
I think we've taken up enough of your time, so
I
thank you so
appreciate-
much for the extended
thank you
interview.
Again. You bet. Thank you
cool.
again. I loved
and
it.
you can follow Paul on Facebook, and also with the hashtag Cheng for Change.
Paul Cheng for mayor.ca.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for watching the video. If you liked it, don't forget to hit a thumbs up or subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you want me to sit down with someone else and talk about landlording, Airbnb hosting, and other things that affect small business owners in London or real estate, please comment on the video and let me know who you want me to sit down with, who should I grill, who should I talk to. Thanks so much.